So you're in your 50s and you're gearing down towards retirement. But if you're behind, what do you do? Or if you're on track, how do you get more out of retirement planning in your 50s? Well, that's what we're talking about in this episode of the Wealth Nation podcast.
Welcome to the Wealth Nation podcast, a podcast for every mother, daughter, grandmother, sister, and wife, and the men who are smart enough to tune in. The Wealth Nation podcast brings you all you need to know about investments, business, property investments, personal finance, and all-around financial wellness. Here is your host, Yolanda Rose.
Thanks for joining me on episode 99 of the Wealth Nation podcast. I am Yolanda. I am a financial advisor, and this is my goal on this platform to give you easy, actionable tips, content, and strategies that you can use to manage your money well and to build generational wealth. And we're in part 3 of our series on retirement planning, and we're looking at retirement planning through the various life stages or age groups from your 20s to your 30s and your 40s. And today we're focusing on retirement planning in your 50s. And if it's the first time you're listening to the Wealth Nation podcast or engaging with any kind of my content, please subscribe to the show on whichever platform you're listening on and connect with us on all of the social media platforms. It's Financially Fabulous Females. And don't forget, if you enjoy this episode, please leave me a review on whichever platform you're listening on. It just helps me reach more folks just like you whom I can help. The Wealth Nation podcast is sponsored by Audible. Audible is a seller and producer of spoken audio entertainment, information, and educational programming on the internet. Audible sells digital audiobooks, radio and TV programs, and audio versions of magazines and newspapers. For a 30-day free trial of Audible, go to www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/audible. So retirement appears to be far over the horizon when you're in your 30s or in your 40s. That horizon begins inching very, very close as you approach your late 40s, early 50s. And it isn't too late for you to start taking some steps to be catching up on your retirement savings if you are a little behind. So the first thing that you got to do if you want to get on track with retirement savings in your 50s, or somehow you fell behind, you want to catch up, or even if you want to really capitalize and make sure that you live sweetly during retirement, the first thing you got to do is you gotta get a hold of your spending. And I know you're in your mid-50s, you're earning well, your income is significantly higher. Maybe the kids out of the house in university. You just paid off your bond. What you don't want to be doing is racking up more debt because you have a little bit more income on your hands. That extra income should actually be going towards investments and retirement investments as well. And nobody likes to hear about curbing your spending, but here's the reality. The fastest way to save more is to spend less. And trimming down in your lifestyle, trimming the fat to one that costs significant less will allow you to save a lot more now, and it will cost you a lot less to maintain a very lower standard of living during retirement.
Raising financially savvy children involves teaching them a variety of skills, from budgeting to planning to earning and saving. Besides giving them an understanding of the value of a rand, it prepares them for real-world finances. Financial literacy is a vital skill, and it is never too early to teach your kids about money. Many parents wonder how they can teach their kids about money and where to find age-appropriate resources. You can now purchase the Financial Literacy for Kids workbook, which is aimed at primary school kids. It's now available at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com. This workbook provides you with 12 lessons, activities, lesson plans, discussion points, and quizzes that you can use to test your kids' knowledge. Shop now at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Tuned In. Now back to the show.
Now you can get a good idea of what retirement is going to cost you if you download my free ultimate retirement strategy. If you go to my website, it's www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/ultimate retirement strategy. The link is also in the notes are the show notes for this podcast. And you just click the link and download the free tool. And the tool is basically an Excel tool. You can just plug in all of the information that relates to you. And the tool will tell you what the future value of your budget that you need with your current savings. How long will those savings last you? Where are your shortfalls? How much more you need to start saving for retirement? So it's a very nice, neat tool for you to use. So go and download it. It's absolutely free. So the second thing you need to do is trim down the debt. Now, if you are in high consumer debt in your 50s, you do not want to take that into retirement. You don't want to be spending your retirement money paying down debt. So if you have that extra income, just pay down that high interest loan. Even, if you're still paying off a bond and things like that, try and close all of that down, because you don't want to take debt into your retirement. Then you got to educate yourself. Now, financial planning and handling finances at this stage of your life from earlier on, it's a little bit different. Maybe you've been a little savvy and you've got your hands in quite a few investments. And at this stage, the rules change, because as you get into the retirement phase, the rules change, the taxation changes. It can get very complicated. So link up with your financial advisor even before you head into retirement. In your early 50s, you should be sitting with your financial advisor every year, by the way. And if you don't, you need to give him or her a call. Or even if you're not getting a proper advice and you're only getting sales from your advisor, you should change that advisor. So you want to get good, solid advice. You want to know in advance where your weak points are. You don't want to be sitting a year before retirement and you sit with your advisor and you realize that you're 10,000 Rand short every month. That is not a nice feeling, and I don't want that for you. So educate yourself, link up with your advisor, see where you're at, and you're here. Hey, that's a start. So get onto all of our platforms, various forms of educational material for you to learn about finances during retirement, specifically the Wealth Insiders platform that we have. It's a private wealth education group where you can get in there, get monthly access to all forms of training, nice resources, very exclusive resources, and then we can also work one-on-one as well. I think if you're behind at this stage, you've got to catch up. You have to prioritize, and sometimes if your income is just not meeting your need, you got to get more income, and we talk about it a lot. And if you downloaded the retirement tool, because we've been giving it away for quite a while now, you'll see that one of the components that I have, or even on our Ultimate Retirement Strategy videos on YouTube, I speak about the importance of having a business, and specifically I speak about an online business, because it takes you into retirement. Because once you stop the daily 9-to-5 grind, your mind gets blank. When you stop working and when you stop having purpose, that's when the mind gets old. And when the mind gets old, the body gets old. So if you can have something to take you through to retirement, so you have purpose in retirement, you're working towards something, and I really feel that e-commerce is the thing that can turn things around, because if you can learn it now, it's not going to take much for you to maintain during retirement. You don't even have to hold large sums of inventory. You just need to understand a wee bit of tech and understand digital media. And you can easily supplement your retirement income with an e-commerce store. So don't ignore, even if you're not somebody that's entrepreneurial, don't underestimate the shift that happened with COVID-19, the shift to digital. And people are willingly going to be more digital. And remember, when you retire, the people that are entering their careers, the people that are in their 30s, those are going to be some super tech savvy people. Very few of them are going to be walking into the store to purchase stuff. And at that stage, you don't want to be starting. So you want to start now, so you're at the prime of your e-commerce business when you are in retirement. So it's not always about buying an RA or putting more into a pension. You got to think differently. And I speak more about that in my YouTube video, so go ahead and check it out. All right, so I will catch you next week on the Wealth Nation podcast.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to visit our website at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com and sign up for our free investment masterclass.